On a cold, rainy night in London, a tiny golden Labrador puppy sat trembling under a flickering streetlight. His fur was soaked, his paws muddy, and his eyes, those big, hopeful brown eyes, filled with confusion and fear, searched every passing face for kindness. No one stopped, until one woman did, and at that moment, his life was about to change forever. A few blocks away, Sarah, a volunteer from the city's animal shelter, was out checking the streets, her flashlight cutting through the rain. That's when she saw him. A small golden shadow curled up beside a trash bin. Sarah knelt slowly, extending her hand. "Hey there, sweetheart. It's okay." The puppy flinched, unsure, but something in her calm voice made him pause. That was all it took. Sarah wrapped him in her jacket and carried him through the rain, feeling his tiny heartbeat against her chest. That night, for the first time in his short life, Max slept somewhere safe. At the shelter, Max was quiet. He didn't bark. He didn't eat much. He'd flinch at sudden sounds and hide under benches. Volunteers whispered, "He's been through something bad." Sarah could see it in his eyes. Fear, confusion, and pain. She decided she wouldn't give up on him. Every day she'd sit near his kennel, speaking softly, reading books aloud so he'd get used to her voice. It took days before he even took a treat from her hand, but when he finally did, his tail wagged, just once, and Sarah knew there was hope. Weeks passed. Max began to trust her, first sitting beside her, then learning simple commands. Sit, stay, come. He even joined the agility area, jumping over tiny obstacles, fetching toys and running free. But there was one thing Sarah noticed. Every time he heard water running, from a hose, a tap, even rain, Max would freeze. He'd back away, trembling, eyes wide with panic. A vet later told Sarah something she hadn't known before. When Max was rescued that night, there was water in his lungs. He hadn't just been left alone. He'd been left to drown. Sarah's heart broke, and she promised herself, no matter how long it took, she'd help Max heal. Months later, Sarah and Max were back at the park for a short walk. He'd come so far, playful, confident, happy, but the sky suddenly turned dark. Thunder cracked overhead, and rain began to pour. Sarah smiled. "Come on, Max. Let's get home, boy." Then, a scream. A child's scream. Across the riverbank, a little girl, Lily, had slipped into the rising water. Her small hands clung to a branch, her terrified eyes barely above the current. Her mother screamed, helpless on the shore. Sarah froze, heart pounding, fear rooting her in place, and Max stood beside her, staring at the river. He was shaking, his old fear returning like a ghost. Sarah, "Max, stay!" But then Lily screamed again. That one cry changed everything. Sarah, without another thought, Max bolted. He sprinted toward the river, water splashing under his paws, and leapt into the current. Sarah, "Max!" But he was already gone. The cold water hit him like knives. His muscles tensed, his lungs burned, but he kept swimming. The same water that had once nearly killed him was now his test and his purpose. He saw the girl, struggling, her tiny hand reaching out. Max fought the current, biting down gently on her sleeve. The pull was brutal, dragging them both downstream. Sarah ran along the bank, shouting through tears. Sarah, "Come on, Max! You can do it, boy!" For a moment, he disappeared beneath the water. Silence. Then, a golden head broke the surface. Max was still holding the girl, kicking furiously toward the shore. With a final surge, he reached the edge, and Sarah pulled Lily out of the water. The child coughed, gasping, alive, and Max crawled up after her, collapsing in the mud, completely still. Sarah dropped to her knees, pulling Max into her arms. He was trembling, exhausted, but breathing. She whispered, voice breaking, said through tears, "You didn't just save her, Max. You saved yourself." Lily's mother sobbed, hugging her daughter tightly. And there, under the pouring rain, Sarah looked at Max, the dog who once feared water, now lying proudly in her lap, his eyes calm and content. It's been a few weeks since the storm. Max has fully recovered, stronger, calmer, with that same warm spark in his eyes Sarah always hoped to see. But something's different now. He doesn't flinch at thunder anymore. He doesn't back away from rain puddles. Instead, he runs through them, tail wagging, ears flying, as if he's finally free. You did it, boy. You beat it. The story spread everywhere. People came from all over to meet Max, the Labrador who risked his life to save a child. But fame never changed him. He still greeted everyone the same way, with a soft wag of his tail and those gentle, forgiving eyes. Few days after the incident, Lily visits Max. "Hi, Max. I missed you." Max licks her cheeks. "Mom says I'm alive because Max was brave." Lily visited often after that, and every time she did, Max seemed to stand a little taller, like he remembered exactly why he had jumped that day. And one sunny afternoon, as Sarah watched Max lying peacefully beside Lily under a tree, she realized what everyone else already knew. Max had already found his forever home. Max's story isn't just about courage. It's about healing. It's about how the same heart that once broke in fear can learn to love again and even save a life. He taught everyone something powerful, that courage isn't the absence of fear. It's facing it for someone else. For Sarah, it wasn't just a dog overcoming fear. It was proof that love can rewrite even the darkest memories. They say every rescue saves two lives, the animals and the humans. For Sarah, Max wasn't just a dog. He was the piece of her heart she didn't know was missing. And every time the sun rose over that quiet lake, it reminded her, healing doesn't happen overnight, but love never stops trying. Max's story reminds us that sometimes the bravest hearts come wrapped in fur and silence. If you've ever rescued or been rescued, you already know, love always finds its way home. If Max's story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Because every view, every share, helps us bring more real stories of courage and kindness to life. Follow for more true tales that remind us, love always finds its way home.